Hi cubies and newbies, this is Sunshine, and this is the ABCube method for solving Rubik's Cubes. I'm the ABCube tutor. This is a method for solving Rubik's Cubes. It's certainly not the only method, it's not the fastest method, and it's not the fewest moves method, but it is a method for non-cubers, those people who've tried to learn other ways and haven't been able to. This is the easiest method for solving every complexity Rubik's Cube, meaning that it works on a 2x2 the exact same way it works on a 5x5 or a 3x3 or a 10x10 or anything you want, as long as it's an n by n by n cube. There's no parity algorithm, just two formulas. Formula A is 4 moves, Formula B is 8 moves, and Formula A is used to bring a piece to the top. Formula B moves 3 pieces around, and that's all you ever need to do, because that's all that's all a cube can do. You notice there's no parity algorithm. This is what a parity looks. This is one of the things a parity looks like, where there are 2 pieces and only 2 pieces that are out of place, and everything else looks solved. Parities are a lie. You don't have to learn the parity algorithms. You don't have to play with them unless you want to. They can be solved with a single quarter turn that touches the parity, the slice that touches the parity, and then the parity has poof dissolved and you don't have to play with it anymore. So Formula A brings the piece to the top. We start with corners. Regardless of what cube you have, all the cubes have 4 corners, so we start there. We do the yellow edges first. We use Formula A to bring the piece to the top, Formula B to move pieces around as needed, and then A to bring the color back to the top again. So just A and B, and then you put the yellow down and do the same thing for the white side. A brings the piece to the top, B moves pieces around, and then A brings the pieces back to the top. So when you've done all 8 corners, which we've done on all of these cubes, for the 2x2 that's solved, and for everything else, the corners dictate what color each face is going to be when you're finished. Hi! Thanks for finding me. So the next thing that I do once the corners are done is we do the edges. We put them into the in between the corners where they belong, and the absolute edges, or the edges and the absolute center, and the 3x3 is solved as well. And then we get on the rest of the cubes we'd have the corners done and opposite edges done. So which is just we did the yellow and then the white. Oh, I see. Quick drop by to say the audio is fixed. I'd stay longer, but my internet connection is really bad now. Stream is freezing. All right, thank you so much. Oh, hi, love. How are you doing? Thank you. Okay, bye. I love you. That's my kid. Okay, so we did the yellow corners. We did the white corners. That's my kid. Okay, so since I've trained my eyes to look for yellow and white, I'm going to keep looking for the yellow and white. And I'm going to, so I hold with the yellow and white left and right as dictated by the corners. I look for pieces in the middle that have yellow edge, pieces in the middle that have yellow or white on them. And that's the piece I'm going to place. I'm going to use Formula B to place it. So yellow and white are left and right, active colors on top. I'm going to move the corners to match the front color. And the top color tells me which direction it's going to go. So the red and white edge piece will go above the red and white something corner, not above the red and yellow something corner. So it's going over here. So this is the first column, this is the second column, this is the top layer. Slide up, slide up, slide down, and we've placed it. So if you look at it, the arrow represents the slice you're moving, horizontal or vertical, and the line represents the rest of the cube holding still, because you're only moving one piece at a time, one slice at a time. So there's no yellow or white on this side. We look over here. Here's a yellow, and we're going to flip. Yellow and white are still left and right, and so the yellow's on top. And so we're looking bring the corners to match the front color, and it's going in the yellow direction. So top row, first column is where it's going to land, second column is where it began. When we did the outside columns, we moved corners. When we do the outside and inside, we're moving the edge pieces around, always 3. So slide, following B, you move this piece over, the left up, move it back away from the right, and then we go the right up. And then continue, and the left down, continue, and right down. Okay. What did I just do? There we go. I just messed up. I got distracted. I'm sorry. Let's do it over here. So yellow and white are left and right. Find a piece in the middle. Active color on top. Yellow and white are still left and right. We bring the corners to match the front. Okay. The top color tells us which direction it's going, so it's going over here. Nothing over here needs to be preserved, so I'm going to look and see whether there's anything else that I can place at the same time to save time. 1, 2, 3 other sides. And no, so I'm just random pieces. All 3 of these need to move out, so I'm going to place these 3 as one piece. So away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down. Okay. All right, and find another piece. Okay, here's the yellow and white are left and right, active color on top. We bring the corners to match the front, and it's going over here. Okay, are there any others that I can place at the same time? The answer is yes, I can. I can place that one at the same time, but not the middle one though. So away, up, in, up and up, away, down, down. Okay, so those are placed. Find another piece. Okay, and no matter whether all of the edges are solved the exact same way. So corners match the front, going in the white direction. That's the only one left. So slide up, slide up, slide down, slide down. Okay, find another piece. Active color on top, yellow and white are left and right. Corners to match the front, and no matter how many times you do it, you're just going to end up. So we did the corners, and then this will bring us the opposite edges that'll be done. So we'll have the square on each of the opposite sides. So this piece is going over here. 2, 3. Okay, we're going to treat this as one piece because it happened. You notice this is the closest I get to pairing up side edge pieces. I don't actually look for a particular piece. I just find a piece and throw it in the direction it wants to be. So up, up, down, down. Okay. All right, here's another piece. Find a piece. Okay, so this is the piece I'm going to work on. Yellow and white are left and right. Active colors on top. Bringing the corners to match the front color. It's going the yellow direction, so this way. This one is still somewhere lost. Let's see if we can find it. Nope. So just this piece. Slide up, slide up, slide down, slide down. Okay. Another yellow piece in the middle. Flip it so it active colors on top, yellow and white are left and right one way or the other, doesn't matter which. Corners match the front, and we determine which direction it's going. Okay, the center one's already there. Let's see if this one, there it is. So we're going to treat both of these at the same time, and they're going in this direction. So move it away from the action, first up, back into the action, and then the second up is actually placing them there on the back, and then reverse down, reverse down. Okay. And for as long as there's a yellow or white anywhere in the middle. Okay. Corners match the front. It's going in this direction. We'll quickly glance to see if there's anything else that's helpful. So these are. So I'm going to treat all 3 of these as one because all 3 of these want to move out. So these will move in. Away up, in up, away down, in down. Okay, and we're going to keep doing this for as long as there is any yellow or white anywhere but in the middle. So there, here we go. Another one. Corners match the front. It's going in this direction. Okay, so both of these. Away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down. All right. Any more yellow or whites we're looking for? Here's one. Okay. Active color on top, yellow and white are left and right. Corners match the front. It's going to the yellow side. All three of these need to move out. So while these are to a right, let's see if the third one is 1, 2, anywhere there that I can and it's not. So we're just going to ignore it. But we're going to treat all three of these as one to put it over here. So away from the action, first up, back into the action, and second up, places it on the back. Out, down, in, down. Okay, so B as written moves from the top front to the left front. The mirror of the B actions moves it from the top front to the right front. Okay, so no yellow or white here. There's some here though. Let's start with this one. Okay, corners to match the front. It's going in the yellow direction. Away, up, in, second up, away, down, in, second down. Okay, and we're just one piece at a time. Yeah, so corners match the front. The larger, the more columns and rows you have, the more pieces you have to move. So it takes longer, but it is not more complicated because each piece is moved using either Formula A or Formula B. So green matches the front, it's going in the white direction. Slide up, slide up, slide down, slide down. Okay, and we're going to keep going. And when there's no more yellow or whites anywhere in the middle columns, then we will assess to see if everything is correct. And they might be correct. Most of the time things will be correctly placed, but sometimes there'll be something that I haven't touched yet in this solve, and so a piece will be misplaced. I'll show you how to do that when I get to that point. So corners match the front. It's going in yellow. Slide away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down. JRAD 375. How have you been? Yo, have you been? I am good, JRAD. Thanks for dropping a line. And there it's placed. So we're still looking for, we did the corners, we're working with the opposite edges, opposite being the yellow and white. So there's no yellow or white here, there's one here. Okay, but we want the yellow or white to be on top. Yellow and white sides, as dictated by the corners, are left and right. I'm actually speed cubing. My 5x5 average is around 1 minute 20 seconds, but this seems very interesting. It is a different way of solving. It's a new way of solving. Formula A and Formula B is all you need. A brings a piece to the top and twists corners. B moves 3 pieces around, and that's all you need to do because the parities are a lie, and you don't have to play with them unless you want to. So I don't teach the every size cube. It doesn't work on all of the shapeshifters, but it does work on every n by n by n cube. It works on the void cube. It works on, I have a 3x3x9 made by Whit Eden that it also works on with one minor adaptation. So I'm kind of proud of the fact that I did away with all parity algorithms. So corners match the front. It's going in this direction. Top row, first column is where it's going to land, second column is where it begins. So I move this piece. I wish parity was a lie from experience. That's very cool though. All right, well here's a parity. I have a parity. I pre-made a parity here to explain. Okay, so this is one thing a parity can look like. A parity can look like when you use this method, it forces the parity to be on the same row. But if it can also be these two, or it can be, if I can be any time there's 2, anytime there's two pieces that are out of place, and because Formula B moves three pieces around. So if there's two pieces that are out of place, the third piece that is out of place that you do not see is literally the piece that you did not see. What that means is, and I do the corners, then edges, then centers last. So it's when I find a parity, I can swipe it, I can solve it with just a single quarter turn instead of doing the whole parity algorithm at the end. But on this particular slice where there's looking just at the edges, there are two that are correct and two that are incorrect. Okay, the same thing can happen on the corners, but we'll just look at it in a different way, and instead of these two being flipped, we look at these three corners need to be moved. So you're always moving three corners. So if you'd make one quarter turn slice on this row, in either direction, and ignore the centers because I do the centers last. But if you ignore the centers, then on this row now there's one piece that's correct and three that are incorrect, and you know how to move three pieces around. So the parity, that one single quarter turn has dissolved the parity. It no longer exists. So if you do it from corners, then edges, swipe the parity away, then you don't have to deal with the parities at the end. So you can learn it. You don't have to. I threw away all of my parity algorithms from my head when I came up with this. So I will demonstrate that if you want me to, but otherwise that's the shortcut answer. So corners match the front. Here's my yellow. It's going to go over here. So away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down, and we're just placing pieces one at a time. So when there's no more yellow or whites in the middle, then I check the edges, check the opposite edges to see if they're correct. And usually they're happily in between their respective corners, but sometimes they're not. Sometimes their pieces are in the wrong space because I haven't gotten to them yet, in which case I would just throw a random piece into the incorrect spot, which would bring it out to the middle, and then I place it again. Thank you. So I did the corners. The opposite edges are now done. The next thing to do would be to do the side edges. And so white goes face down. We're abandoning white. White is going to be our visual clue at this point forward to as we work on the side edges. So we're going to look for the side edges, find any pieces that are wrong that I can move, and I'm going to displace a yellow piece from where it belongs into the side edges so that the side edges can then come to the top and I can place them one at a time. So I can either do one column at a time, like with the 4x4, there's one inner column at a time, or the larger cubes, I can do more than one columns at a time, but I only go to the center and not beyond the center, so that if there is a parity that comes up, it will be on the same slice, one slice. So away, up, in, and then I'm going displacing up through the center, but not beyond. And then down and down. And as we ignored everything but the yellow to begin with, now we're ignoring the yellow and we're looking white face down until all the edges are done. And while I displace this yellow over here, this yellow that's right here is going to go bip-bop back and forth as I place these pieces one at a time. And when the yellow comes back to the top, correct or incorrect. Does this method sort of work like you get basically the yellow and white sides without the centers, and then solve the edges, then the centers last? I do the corners first, and then I do the opposite edges, the yellow and white, and then I do the side edges, and then I do the centers last. Yes. Yes. So here's a piece on top that's not yellow. So this is the right time to set the center. If you can see the center, you can only see it on the odd number slices, not the other one slices. So I hold the top. Looking at the front color, I rotate the entire cube until the color matches the front, corners match the front. And then again, we're going to move this piece to the green side, so not the blue side, the green side. So it's the top row, and it's going to land over here. So this is my first column, and this is my second column. I start by moving it away from the action. So I move away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down. And then I look at the next piece on top that's not yellow. And we're going to do this until the yellow comes back on all of the tops, and then I will assess the sides. So I hold the top, rotate the cube till corners match the front. It's going in the green direction, so it's going this way. So it's the mirror of Formula B. So we go away from the action first up, into the action second up, away, down, in, down. And now you see that the white on the bottom is there to visually remind me which column I'm working on, so I don't get confused if I drop my cube mid pattern, or if the cat jumps on my lap or something like that. So so I rotate the top, bring the corners to match the front. It's going in this direction. So I move it first column, second column, away, up, in, second up, and then let's say I got distracted and I forgot which way I'm moving my column. That way doesn't line up the white, so it has to go this way, is down, and this way is down. So the edges being done is a visual reminder of where I'm working for the center layers. Corners match the front. It's going this direction. Away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down. So yeah, so I did the corners and then the yellow and white sides, edges, and then the centers. Yes. All right, so, and we're just placing pieces one at a time until everything's placed. So look for a piece on top that's not yellow, line it up, corners match the front, determine its direction, and just place it one at a time. Slide up, slide up, slide down, slide down. And if you come up with a parity, it'll either be on the corners, which you solve by just doing Formula B, or it'll be on the edges, which, like I said, a single quarter turn of the edge slice that touches the parity dissolves the parity, so you don't have to memorize different parity algorithms. So corners match the front. So yeah, a parity will exist. It will happen, but it's because it's it's a lie. You don't have to play with it. You can just swipe it away. Because the reason why it can happen on a 4x4 on a large cube and not on the 3x3 is because, well, they call it a parity because the 3x3 was the original. But when the cubes when you take a cube apart, when it pops apart, when you're cleaning it, whatever, when you reassemble a cube, you have to assemble it in a solved position, or you might assemble it in an unsolvable position, an impossible position. So that's true. And when we went to larger cubes, we just assumed the same was true. But the thing is that for every piece that has only one correct spot, meaning for every corner and for every edge piece and for the absolute center, those do have to be assembled in a correct position, or it can be impossible. But for the other centers, the non-absolute center pieces, the diagonals and the obliques, each one of them can be visually correct in one of 4 spaces instead of just one spot. So when you're assembling your pieces as it's broken, you do have to beware of the colors for the corners, edges, and absolute center. But for all of the rest of the centerpieces, you can just organize them by shape and place them wherever they fit. And it's impossible to get it in an unsolvable position because every piece can be correct in one of 4 places. Every centerpiece can. So corners match the front. It's going in this side, away from the action, up, into the action, second up, away, down, in, second, down. Okay, and my yellow came back to the top, so now we assess. Okay, so set the corners. The side edges might be correct, but they might not. So let's look. So these ones are correct between their respective centers. This one's not. So we find a piece that's not, and we're going to again displace a yellow into that spot. So even though if the sides were correct, this would be a parity. But because the sides are not correct yet, it's not a parity because we have more than 2 pieces. So we're going to displace this yellow into here and then continue working with the not yellow on top. Okay. Right here. And we just wait until when the yellow comes up again, we assess again. Corners match the front. It's going in the blue direction. Up, up, down, down. Okay. Not yellow. Corners match the front. It's going in this direction. Up, up, down, down. And so Yellow came back to the top, so we assess the 1, 2, 3. All sides are correct, and the yellow does not have a parity. So if it does have a parity, then we solve it by the single quarter turn of the slice, and then fix the edges in that orientation, and then do the centers. So what did I do wrong here? I messed this up, so let me go start again, kind of. Okay, here's the first thing I do is I check the yellows. Okay. These 3 are correct. This one is under where it wants to be. Formula A brings it to the top. Okay. And then when the yellows corners are correct and matching on the side, then I put it down. I may see if the whites are done. My whites are not correct, so I'm going to use formula A to bring the white to the top. Pause. This one's already white on top. Continue here. And when the white's on top again, I'm ignoring my yellows while I work on my whites because I can see them dancing around. But when the white's all on top, I check the yellows again, and they are untouched because they scrambled themselves, but they resolved themselves. That's what Formula A does. Formula A only works on the pieces. Formula A and B only work on the pieces you want them to work on, so they don't affect the rest of the cube that's done. So yellow corners are done. Looking at white corners, and the orange does not equal red, blue does not equal green, orange does not equal red, blue does not equal green. So at this stage, I'm going back to corners because I conveniently messed this up. So at this stage, when the active color is on top on all 4 corners, one of 3 things has happened. Either because there's 3 colors on each corner, so you check the other 2 colors to see if they match on the sides. And blue does not equal green, red does not equal orange, green does not equal blue, and orange does not equal red. So one of 3 things has always happened when you get to this point. Either all of the sides match, or none of the sides match, or one side matches. Most of the time it will be one side that matches. If all the sides match, you proceed to the next step. If none of them match, it doesn't matter which way you hold the cube. We're going to do the same thing as if one side matches, but if one side does match, the matching side faces away from you. So I'm going to do formula B. It's going to move these 3 pieces around, and then this one's going to stay the same. So I move it away from the left side up, away from the right side up, away from the left side down, away from the right side down. Okay, so slide up, slide down, slide down. And so this one stayed the same. These 3 all moved, and we already know how to bring the white back to the top again. It's formula A. And while I'm doing formula A, I just keep the cube stable. So I don't rotate the cube, but I rotate the top layer to preserve this piece, and then I proceed with this one instead, in addition. And as I said, you can see the yellows dancing all around, but that doesn't matter because when the whites are on top again, they will have gotten back to their start. Okay, so when the white's on top, yellows are still happy again. So now we look again. Green does not equal orange, red equals red, blue does not equal orange, etc. So the side that matches, the one side that matches, faces away, and I'm going to do formula B and then A to bring the white bit to the top again, and this time the corners will match. Slide up, slide down, and this one stayed the same. Formula A to bring the moved pieces back to the top. And we can see the yellows dancing all around. We're ignoring the yellows because otherwise we get confused and we say, oh no, I messed up, I have to start over again. You don't have to start over again. Because when the yellow because you're just using formula A and you're not rotating the cube, the bottom of it is untouched. So the yellow's still happy, white's on top, and the top 4 corners are correct to each other. So now you look and see if the top 4 corners are correct top to bottom. Green does not equal blue, red does not equal blue, blue equals blue. So my corners are correct, and my all 4 corners are correct. So now this next, like I said, once the corners are correct, we work on the opposite edges. So yellow and white. Yellow and white are left and right. Find a piece in the middle between the yellow and white, and corners match the front is going in this direction. Treat it as one because they're matched. You have to be willing to separate those edge pieces when you get down to the side edges point where there either is or is not a parity. Separating the edge pieces and then letting them find their way back to each other is what resolves the parity. So corners match the front. It's going in the white direction. Slide up, slide up, slide down, slide down. Okay. Looking for yellow or white in the middle. No, that's not one, that's not one, that's not one, that's not one. Okay, so there's none there, so now we assess, okay? Some of these are correct, some of them are not. And I take the not correct piece, and I'm going to throw a random piece into that spot, which will move it out to the middle where I can place it correctly. So slide up, slide, and then this is where it lands, that's my second up. And then down and down. And so I've got a random piece there, and the yellow or white is now in the middle where I can place it. Corners match the front. It's going in this direction. Slide up, slide up, slide down, slide down. Okay, no yellow or whites. Here's one. On top, yellow and white are left and right. Corners match the front. It's going in this direction. And we do this until there's no more yellow or whites in the middle, and then we assess again. Okay, no yellow or whites, no yellow or whites, no yellow or whites, no yellow or whites. So now we look. And the whites are happy with where they are, and the yellows are happy with where they are. Okay, so the next step, corners, opposite edges, and then the side edges. So again, white face down. Look for the side edges, find an incorrect piece. Displace the yellow into that spot with formula B. Okay, and then place it correctly. Again, if you have an absolute center, now you would place this before you start doing the side edges, but you don't know because there's no visual center on the other slides, horizontal slides. So find the piece on top that's not yellow. Corners match the front. It's going in the green direction, so this way. Away up, in up, away down, in down. Okay. Now the yellow that I displaced will eventually find its way to the top, and the other yellow on the same layer, same row, is going to bip-bop back and forth until the other yellow comes back to the top. So we're just working piece on top that's not yellow until the yellow comes back to the top. So it's going in this direction. Green corners match the front, going in this direction. B as written, away up, in second up, away down, in second down. Okay, piece on top that's not yellow, and we just keep doing that. So the rest of the yellow that's already solved is going to stay solved. The only yellow that's displaced is from one single slice, and that slice is where the parity will show up if there is a parity. So if there's not a parity, then it doesn't matter. But if there is a parity, it's convenient to have it on the same slice. So you can just a single quarter turn and fix it. Corners match the front. It's going in this direction. Slide up, slide up, slide down, slide down. Piece on top that's not yellow. Corners match the front. It's going in the blue direction. Slide up, slide up, slide down, slide down. Okay. Corners to match the front. Blue direction. Up, up, down, down. I'm going to make a song out of this, you guys. Slide up, slide down, and we just move 3 cubes around. Corners match the front. It's going this direction. Up, up, down, down. Okay. And the yellow came back to the top. Doesn't matter if it's on the right face or the right, or whether they're correct. It just matters that it came back to the top. So now white's still happy. This side is correct. This side is correct. This side is correct. This side is correct. And we have a parity because this piece wants to go here and this piece wants to go there. But you heard me say that parities are a lie, so we're not going to we're not going to use a parity algorithm. We don't need to. We're going to I'm going to displace the parity, one of these rows, one of these slices is a quarter turn off. I can change the color of my top and work with the blue, but I'm going to stay color not neutral. So I'm going to move this piece forward to where it belongs and this piece down into this row with Formula B. And where it landed, that is the row that's off. So I make a quarter turn there. Okay. Now I just continue with yellow as top, look for piece on top that's not yellow. And when the yellow comes back to the top again, this time the parity is gone. Slide up, slide up, slide down, slide down. Corners match the front, this direction, up, up, down, down. And again, this direction, up, up, down, down. Okay. Yellow came back to the top, set the corners, and the parity is poof, all gone, disappeared, no parity. So now we have the cage done on each of these. The absolute center is correct, and all that's left for the rest of these is to the centers. All that's left are the centers, and the centers are also done with Formula B. Demonstrate. Top row, 2 columns. If the outside columns are used, it moves these corners up, up, down, down. Okay, 3 pieces and only 3 pieces moved. Once has the effect of going clockwise. If I do it again, it has the effect of having gone counterclockwise. And once more, puts it back to however you started. Okay, so top row, outside columns is corners. Outside, inside column moves edges. We've already established that. And if I want to move to inside columns, just pick a piece. Pick a piece that's incorrect, hold it on the front face. It's going to go to the top layer. The first horizontal is to line it up so that's advantageous. And then I'm going to move this piece up to the top. I'm going to follow this piece. Instead of, you don't have to memorize which 2 columns do which things. Outside is corners and outside, inside, of course. You just follow the piece that you're moving. So for the internal piece, I move it to the top, slide the top row until it's in a different column. That becomes your second column. And then reverse down, set the tops. And it looks like I moved 2 pieces. Okay, it looks like only 2 pieces are out of place, but that is not the case because these move and 2 of the pieces were yellow. So we moved 3 pieces, but it only looked like 2. And I'm going to demonstrate if I line up this one with this piece to bring this piece down. This yellow is going to come down, but it's not going to land here. It's going to land over here. This one's going to move over. So I go up, different column, second up, reverse down, and like I said, it didn't land here, it landed here. So you're always moving 3 pieces, and everything from here forward is just more B's. That's not necessarily true. You can use Formula A on any one to complete any one face. From this point in time, I could do that. So I could say, let's see. So I could do one face with Formula A, but you can't do it with the rest of the sides because Formula A does affect all 6 sides at once. So A is a shortcut, but I don't teach it. I just use Formula B. But if I were going to use Formula A, I would just line this up under where it wants to be. And then I would move this away from the action, move the space where it's going to land down, move the piece into the space, and the piece in the space back up again. Everyone who can do one side is using Formula A, they just don't know it. Okay, so that piece is there. Here's another piece. Okay, this piece will land right here, away from the action, down, into the action, back up again. Okay, so it's working, but like I said, it only works on one face. So line it up under where it wants to be. Up, slide up, down, down, and then reset the corners. And doing A after you've got the edges done does not mess up your edges because the cube is magic. All right, so this last one's on the bottom. I can't just go straight to it, so I'm going to use Formula B to get this yellow to the top. So I'm going to line it up so it's going to land with this yellow, and then formula B. So I follow this piece. I go up, slide to a different column, second up, reverse, and my edges being done keeps me on track so I don't go the wrong direction. See, I always know which direction I'm going because it lines up with the edges. And then set the top, and that piece is placed. So this piece, to go to the top, I could do A again for this piece because I put it under where it wants to be. Move it away, out, down, in, up, and then set. Okay, so the edges are done the exact same way regardless. For the diagonal centers, you have to pay a little bit more attention to it because if you're going in the wrong direction, so I follow this piece. It's on the front face, it's going to the top. So I go follow it up, and I have to rotate it into a separate column. If I go this way, that's the same column. So that's not the way I can go. So put it back down again. So I go up, slide into a different column, that becomes my second column up. And then line up the edges, reverse, line up the edges, reverse, and set the top, and that's done. So the edge pieces, all of this, I can do whatever I want with my formula A for one side, out, down, in, up. But for the rest of the cube, you have to use formula B. So here's two. I'm going to put them right there. Out, down, in, up, and set. There's another one. Put it under where it wants to be. Out, down, in, up, and set. There's another one. Under where it wants to be. Out, down, in, up, and set. And the last one. Under where it wants to be. Sorry. Out, down, in, up. Okay? And then the rest of it is all formula B. Just pick a piece that wants to be somewhere else and move it. Okay? Here's two reds. Okay? If I moved it up here, I would bring down this blue and this green. I don't want to bring the greens down. So let's start with the greens instead. Okay? So here's a green. To move it up to the left, to the red. I'm going to line up, I rotate the top to line it up. Okay? And then either these two or these two will be helpful. So I'm going to do these two. I can treat these as one piece. And I'm going to do formula B. So line it up, slide to a different column, second up, reverse, down, and set. Okay. Here's some more greens. Okay. They land right here. That's convenient. So up, slide up, reverse down, and set. Okay. Here's some blue. Let's see what this blue wants to do over here. I can line up this corner, but I don't want to bring down either of these oranges. So let's line up this corner, and I want to bring down these two. So I'm going to treat these two as one piece. Up, slide to a different column, second up, reverse, first column down, and second column down, and set the top. And it's just lather, rinse, repeat, more of the same. Here's blue. It's going to land here, so I can bring down the orange or the blue or the red or the yellow. So I'm going to line up this one. I'm not going to treat these as one because I don't want to bring the yellow to its opposite color. So up, slide it down, and set. Okay. Here's an orange. Okay, corner. It's going to land right here, so I can bring down this orange or this blue or this red or this blue. Okay, these two don't help, but these two do. Okay, so I'm gonna treat these as one piece, and we're gonna move this orange up where it wants to be, this blue down, and this yellow will displace the red. So we go up, down. And the fun part is it works not only on cubes, it also works on the Minx family as well, the dodecahedrons. Also Formula A, Formula B, all you need to do to solve any pattern. The difference is there's an order of operations for the minxes, but the minxes can't get parities. Order of operation for the minxes is you want to do the star parts before the non-star parts. Otherwise, you have to redo the non-star parts. So here's red. Red has to go in twice because it's an opposite. So I'm going to bring these oranges down. So treat these as one. Up, up, down, down. Set the top as needed. And there they are. We're going to follow them around again. Line up the top. Up, up, down, down, and set the top. Okay. And lather, rinse, repeat. Just find a piece that is wrong. Hold that on the front face. Its color should be on top so it can land on top. Line it up with something advantageous. And then up, slide down for all of your pieces. Here's an orange. Okay. Right now it's going to land in these two spots. That's not helpful. These two spots is not helpful, but these two spots are. So up, slide to a different column. Second up, reverse, down, set the top at corners as needed, and you're done. And so we're just doing, okay, all the corners are done. Do some more. Okay, here's a green. Line it up with the incorrect spot. Goes now with the diagonals. We had to pay attention to which direction we were leaving. It's a little more free with the oblique centers. The difference being, unless you're trying to make a pretty pattern on the front, in which case we would determine which direction we want it to go. But otherwise, either way works. So I go up, slide to a different column, second up, down, down, and set. So let's say, all right. Okay, let's move this blue up here. I'm going to bring down either the red or the orange. The red is more advantageous. Actually, orange is more advantageous because it has a yellow. So I'm going to bring down the orange. And I'm going to go up. I'm going to move it into a different column. If I want, which direction I go determines whether this orange is going to come into this spot or this yellow is going to come into this spot. Either way, this orange is going to come down. So I go up, and then I parallel the spot I want to move into this spot. Second up, down, down. And as promised, the yellow moved and the other one came down. Okay, here's a red. Line it up. Up, slide up, reverse, down, down. Okay, yellow and orange. Here's a spot. Line it up, up, down, down, and that brought that orange to the top. And so now this one's lined up, down, down, and set the top. Lather, rinse, repeat over and over again until it's solved. So the only things you have to remember are A and B, and parities are solved with a single swipe as you come up to them, not at the end. Actually, I've had communication. I don't know if you guys know who this is. Jeff Conquers the Cube. This is the guy who set the first timed record for Rubik's Cube. That was him. His name's Jeff Verasano, and he wrote this book about that time frame. But when the 4x4 came out, because he was the world champion at the time, he was invited to the cons and stuff, and so they showed him a 4x4 that they had just invented, and so he had it. He was playing with it. He was having fun, and played with it just long enough to figure out, wait a minute, that's illegal. That doesn't happen on a 3x3. And before he could figure out how to solve the parity, they took the cube away from him and said, okay, you got to go home now. So
he went home and with colored pencils and graph paper, he marked out what the parody had to look like. And then he solved it move by move with just the graph paper. So in a further his parody solution is 10 moves. So if your parody algorithm is longer than 10 moves, you could do it better. All right, here's blue. Okay. Up, up, down, down. Another blue. Up, up, down, down. Okay. Here's the green. Find a piece on the front face. Hold it so it can land on the top. Up, up, down, down. Set the top as needed. And it works. Line it up, slide up, slide down, slide down. Okay, and just have a few more to do. Up, up, down, down. Set the top. Here's blue. Actually, let's do the orange. Why not? Okay. I can bring the yellow down or the red down. I'm going to do both. We'll do the yellow first. Up, up, down, down. Set the top. And again, line it up, slide second up, reverse down, set the top, and one piece at a time until you're done. Line it up, slide to a different column, second up, reverse down, one piece at a time. Last one, corners, up, slide down, There we have it. So that is, in a nutshell, the ABCube method for solving Rubik's Cubes. Works on Minx's too. Maybe I'll do Minx's tomorrow. Come back and join me tomorrow if you want to. I have a Zoom classroom that I can incorporate into my Twitch stream, which means that I can see your camera. I can see your cube. You can see my cube. I can teach up to 4 people in real time at a time if I use Zoom. So if you want to help me demonstrate the method by showing your cube as well. Or if you have a non-cuber friend, you want to bring them to me, we can have lots of fun. So other than that, thanks for joining me. I appreciate you. And go have a good rest of your day. And I will be back tomorrow. So bye, you guys.